GX-Direct.com.
What's up, guys? It's Charles here with Rocketpuncharmy to do another review today. We're going to start off quick. I don't want to make this long as usual, but what you see here is the GX-71 Solo Chogokin Red Lion. All right, and I'm sure by you looking at the title, you already know where we're going with this. We're going to do a comparison today. We're going to start off with a little review and a little comparison. All right, so little backstory on the Solo Chogokin. So, as you guys know, I'm involved with Collection DX. You know, I did a lot of work with Josh, would go to the toy fairs and things like that, and we would get to talk to reps. But long story short, for a long time, we knew that there was a Solo Chogokin Golion / Voltron coming. We just didn't know when. As a matter of fact, we knew before most people. It was supposed to be like a sealed deal, I think maybe 5 years back or more, as I was told by the representative himself. I don't know what happened. Toynami ended up getting the license again. It was a whole big mess, and you know, after that, it's whatever. Anyway, finally it came out. You guys know that because as obviously made by this little guy here, that it exists, and we know that. But then guess what happened? All the pre-orders were gone. The ones that exist right now are all like really, really expensive. This thing, when it came out, was maybe $250, which is, you know, at about the price that I would say it's supposed to be. And it got gobbled up by everybody, not only Solo Chogokin collectors, but also casual collectors and people who just loved Voltron. So this was one of the Solo Chogokin releases that just really catered to a lot more than the usual releases, which made it highly successful. So you had the Golion release in Japan, and you had the same box with the outer wrap of Voltron here, right? So we don't know what happened. We don't know if this is going to be a re-release, but pretty much there's no word on any of that. I'm hoping for a re-release, at least in a renewal color. So in other words, for those of you not aware of what that means, they usually do the, you know, for example, if this was to come out again, it'd be like the GX-71R, and they would change something. You know, maybe the parts that were silver, maybe they'll make white just so it looks like the cartoon. We don't know what the hell the case is. Maybe they'll use metallic colors for the lines. I don't know. But if something like that happens, at the very least, that's what can happen. I don't know why they just released it once and didn't do a second follow-up. My guess is they've been wanting the license for so long, and I'm sorry I'm blabbing. I already said I wasn't going to do that. But my guess is, just in case you guys were wondering, is that they've been trying to do it for so long. Maybe they got like a license to only be able to release a certain amount, or for within a certain amount of time, and that's the way they got the license. Because as you can see, Playmates has Voltron stuff. You still got Toynami has Voltron stuff. Maybe they, I don't know. At this point, it's just guessing. But anyway, what I'm getting at, guys, is that there's a company that took advantage of this opportunity. All right, and the company is called, I was going to say Family Jewels. No, it's definitely not the right word. Fantasy Jewel. All right, so looking at this box right here, it's obviously the Red Lion. I'm going to give you a little backstory on this. I don't know the actual backstory, but this is the only thing that this came out of nowhere. Like, it even caught me by surprise. Now, I'm usually on top of the KO stuff, but this came out of nowhere, guys. It was already released by the time I knew about it. But here are my concerns with this. First of all, it is a knockoff of Solo Chogokin, and it's pretty much the very first, like, legit Solo Chogokin KO. There's been other weird knockoffs. We're not going to get into that, but the first one that really tried to do it. And the reason the other ones haven't been really knocked off, because they didn't cater to that many people, just, you know, specific collectors. So probably not worth it for them to KO. But this is Voltron. This is worldwide. Golion, Voltron. You know, everybody knows who this thing is, and they can sell a lot of KOs. So that's the idea behind this. They made a KO. They took advantage of Bandai not having enough to go around. Now, my concern with this is, number one, the price. Yes, let's get that out of the way. It is $50. And this is a small arm lion. So $50 and then you have to spend another 50 for the green lion. Then the leg ones, are they going to make them the same price? I doubt it. They'll probably be a little higher. Although maybe they're just earning, you know, extra money on these, or trying to recoup all the tooling and everything to have extra money to put towards the other ones that hopefully will come out. Maybe the prices will be the same. I don't know. But I think they're taking a big gamble with this. And I hate to say it, but I kind of hope they can do this. Right? And I'm not going to get into my opinions, but for those that missed out on the GX-71, I'm almost, I wouldn't say positive, but I would say we're not going to see a re-release, you know, at least from what I know, for a while. So if you absolutely have to have a solar Chogokin without spending $700, this is the way to go. However, like I said, it's 50 bucks. And if you buy all of them, it's going to cost more than the real one did. You know, not aftermarket prices, just before. Anyway, my other concern with this is, will they finish all 5? Because as of the time of this filming, which is February 22nd, I don't even know what date it is, I have not read anything about any upcoming Lions. So, will they finish this? Is this the only one they have planned? I don't know. It's just weird. They just chose the red lion. You would think they would get the most difficult one out of the way, but I think they want to take a chance with the small one first. See how that goes before they continue. All right, so that's the end of the horrible blabbing. Anyway, the box, it's got some really cool artwork. I'm not going to say it's bad artwork. It's nice. You can tell they took a little bit of time on that. But the rest of the box, it's like, you know, based on this, you're not going to find this company anywhere. Unless you already know how to get KOs and things like that. That's how you're going to get them. But otherwise, this company is untrackable. There's no Facebook, nothing. Just Fantasy Jewel with a corny logo. I don't even know if that's supposed to be a sword. Where's the handle? I have no clue what that is. And even the font is kind of corny. But anyway, let's get inside, guys. Let's get inside. I'm sure you guys are like, shut up. You always talk and talk. Oops, tail fell out. But anyway, here's the tail. Came out. And yeah, I'm going to talk a lot because this has to do with Voltron. You guys know I'm a big fan of Voltron. Oh my lord, everything falls in this place. But I'm such a big fan of Voltron that I actually, if you guys didn't know, I was the person who photographed the toys for the 30th anniversary book. Bet you didn't know that unless you checked the, whatever, the credits on there. But yeah, I took the pictures of the Voltron toys. Not all of them. Josh B did the vehicle ones and a couple of the Lion ones, but I did a lot of the Lion ones. Anyway, getting back to this, here it is, guys. Look at this. Alright, first thing that I noticed is, well, a couple of things I noticed. The plastic, obviously, is going to be, it's just a little too shiny. I'm not going to do comparisons here. I'm just going to do the regular review, and it felt a little on the light side. And the first thing I did was check to see if it had die cast, and it does. The tail, die cast, so you can see that big block of die cast. Like, wow, that's just, like, amazing. How much metal. First of all, that's the most metal you'll see on this is on the tail. Alright? And that's it. That's pretty much it. That's the only metal there is. Did I see other metal? Oh, the metal is also in the shoulder joints. So these legs do pop out a little to the side when it's not transformed. And there is metal joints in there. Alright? So the rest of the legs are nicely chromed. What's good, it doesn't flake off on my fingers, so you can tell it's not cheap chrome. It feels thick. As a matter of fact, with the weather the way it is, it feels cold. It might be misleading into thinking that this is die-cast legs, but they are not. Alright? So, again, we'll get into comparisons later, show you differences, but for now we're just doing this. The chrome, I like it. Very nice chrome. No complaints there. If we take a look at the swivel here, it's nice and smooth. If we do the ratcheting side to side, it's not smooth. You can tell there's ratchets, but it almost feels like the teeth are just being ground down. Even though I've messed with it a little while, it doesn't feel like they're wearing out. Oh, I'm sorry, there's also metal here. Alright, so maybe it is grinding away, because maybe the metal here has the little divots and the plastic has the little things. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't have that click. It almost feels like it's just tabs rubbing up against the metal. So I'd be careful there until someone, you know, bravely decides to take this apart and verify how the internals are. But again, it's a KO. That's one of those things. But the joints are nice and firm. I gotta say, I mean, if we hold it like this, it will hold the Lion. You can see it slides a little bit, but you know, there's weight to the Lion. But overall, the legs are. You can see that I can hold it right by the foot. And if we look at the face, you'll see it's got really thin eyes, and the nose, you know, it's just the nose, and the mouth. So we'll take a look at the mouth. It's got the same little features going on there and things like that. Aside from that, let's go ahead and attach the tail. So it's got a tail, and I'm not going to go too far into that until we do a comparison, but you do get the weapons. The weapons can tab if you bring down this little missile thing, tab to the top of the mouth. Alright, so it holds in nice and securely and close the mouth. Right, then you can attach the shoulder cannons. They're not too, well, this side is a little tougher to get in. Alright, but the other one just slides right in nicely. So they hold rather nicely, so you can see the figure looks good. Alright, and I didn't want to get into too much detail and describe back and forth you know, the differences, because I wanted to actually show you side by side. So that's as far as that goes, guys. Pretty much the same. Now we're going to talk about the similarities and differences, and believe it or not, improvements to this one. Although there's a little star on the top when I say improvements. So to do that, we're going to need, number one, the original. I don't have the weapons here for the original. I don't think I'm going to need them, since you know, they're just weapons. But let's take these weapons apart, because we do want to check out the similarities. So obviously the similarities are the size, and the execution of this is obviously meant to be an exact duplicate of this, although it's not an exact duplicate. Alright, we'll start off with a little bit of differences. You can see the heads, the snout on the original is a little longer. You'll see it's a little stubbier on the other one. You'll notice that the ears, there's a little molding indentation that goes on the edge of the ears that is not present on the original. You notice the eyes look definitely a lot better on the original as opposed to the KO. I'm going to try and keep the KO on the left side just so you guys can tell the differences. The original does have metal, yeah, this centerpiece right here. The rest is plastic with chrome. We were talking about the ratcheting, so we'll show you the ratcheting on the original. So you can listen to how good that sounds, and it feels good. You can tell there's actually springs in there. And then again, this one, no springs, or if there is a spring, it's not really doing anything great. I also noticed the mouth on this opens all the way like that. So if that's something you wanted on your Red Lion, you got it, because this one does not open all the way. But you notice the teeth are nice and sharp on the original, a little more on the roundish side on the KO. You'll notice the shape of the jaw right here is angled off. On here, it's just like a sharp point. So I mean, it's not identical. So that's what we're pretty much trying to get at. You do get the neck. All right. You also get the pop-off action in case you want to do the firing, lion heads. Gee, I don't know why I forget words sometimes. As far as like the build, you know, you get the screws in the same spot. The molding is obviously very sharp on the original, not so much on this one. And then here, the pop-up weapon thing. Well, first of all, let's look from the back. You'll notice the difference here. So the yellow on this is more like a school bus yellow. This is just like, it looks like it's spray painted yellow over red. I believe it's yellow over red. So you want to be careful if you don't want red showing through. Other differences include yeah, I mean, we're just looking at it here. You can see some differences in the molding. The tails, both of them have pretty much the same type of tail, although the Solo Chogokin one is a little shinier. All right, and while we're on the subject of the tail, so you don't have to use the tails. You can, and it'll give it a little bit of pivot here on the original. So it's kind of cool that they included that. But this is, I don't know if this is what they meant by improving the original, but it does have, excuse me, I don't know what's going on, I just had pizza. It does have an articulated tail, which I thought was really cool. When I first saw it, I just thought it was just molded like that, and I was like, that's so ugly. When I went to put it on, it actually moved. I was like, wow, alright, well then I'll take that, I'll accept it. The only thing is it's probably a little too long. The other side of that is that you can possibly, well you can, these are all ball jointed, you can pop them off, take off a few of these to make it shorter, but then it kills the whole, you know, full articulation thing. But, you know, if you take off a couple just to make it shorter, it might look better. It just looks, you know, even though lion tail is probably that long proportionally to the body, I don't know. And you're obviously not going to get the same molding quality. This plastic, I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like dried nail polish. Like if you were to pour nail polish into a mold and let it dry, that's what this, and you can kind of see those lines there. I don't know why it's got cracks in the so this is kind of like, I don't know. It's not saying that it's cheap. I mean, you're not gonna, I'd hate to think anybody breaking this. You'd really have to torture the crap out of it. But it's good. I mean, for what it is, it's not too bad. One thing I did notice too, when I was trying to pose this, I'm like, I can't get the like feet to look cool because they're always on an angle. And then I'm like, oh wait a minute, because it doesn't have the pivoting. You can see this is on a ball joint right here. You don't get that pivot to get that angle that you need. This is just straight up like the old school one. It's just on a little, you know, swing thing there. The molding difference on the metal, or the middle piece, which is not metal, compared to this, you can see there is a difference in the design. This one's actually sunken in. I don't know why they did that. It just makes it look like a little cheaper, I think. And that one's like that. But yeah, I mean, there's really not much more to say. I think if you missed out on getting the original, then this is a good thing. The only thing is, I'd hate to see somebody buy this and then just get stuck with this and not have a way to, you know, form Voltron. But if you just want a cool red line on its own, at least for now, until we're positive the rest are going to come out, then I say go for it. It is $50. You know, it's hard to, you know, two of these would be $100, and think about the stuff that you can get for even for $50. Think of the stuff you can get for $50. And as a standalone thing, I don't know if I would say it's a must-have. For me, it is, because I'm a big Voltron fan, and I like to have every freaking version of Voltron. But it's cool, and I do want to actually thank tfdirect.com. I reached out to those guys, and I said, listen, man, I'm the Voltron guy right here. Please send me one of these. And they sent it straight out so I can do a review. So thank you so much, tfdirect.com, for allowing me to receive one of these, to bring you guys a comparison review, because I'm not sure if there has been a comparison review. I've seen reviews, but I haven't seen like a comparison with the original. And I'm sure you guys were dying to see one. Maybe not dying, but you know, you're probably thinking, hey, you should do a comparison. And here we are. So, as you know, if you compare it to the other one, this one I would say looks better, feels better. But if you don't have that, and you have this in hand, I don't really think you would be complaining. You know, the only way you'd complain again is if you have the original and you can really pick out the things. But if you just have this, you don't have access to the original Solo Chogokin, this is a good stand-in. But again, they need to release the other lions in order for this to really make sense. I hate to think they just did this because they felt like it. I doubt it. I think they're just testing the waters. That's pretty much it, guys. Again, if you want to pick one of these up, there's a link in the description below to tfdirect.com. Just let them know I sent you guys. You know, it helps out the channel. I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to support the channel, please just reach out to them and say, hey, I'm picking one of these up thanks to Rocketpuncharmy. But anyway, any questions, comments below. Stay tuned, guys. I got a lot of cool stuff coming up. All right? And until next time, bye-bye.